is Mark Gunn Media.
Hit it!
Welcome to Gunshots Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Mark Gunn. The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not necessarily reflective of anyone or any entity associated with this broadcast. This episode brought to you by Before Your First Gig, an audiobook written by Steve Dustcircle and produced by Mark Gunn Media. If you're a beginning musician, this is a primer that you'll definitely want to hear. Tips and strategies for setting yourself up for live performances and paid gigs. Before Your First Gig by Steve Dustcircle. Available now on iTunes, Audible.com, and Amazon. Before Your First Gig by Steve Dustcircle. Produced by Mark Gunn Media. This episode, in honor of Black History Month, we present a conversation I had with the late, great Charlie Murphy.
You're gonna hang out with Rick James tonight, you know what I'm saying? He had this thing with me where he used to always like with me, man. I don't know what started it.
You know, he was hanging out with the big dogs, you know, Charlie didn't know he was doing crazy things, and I had to straighten him out. Sometimes I had to go upside his head. Things
Like escalated to the point where, you know, my man got too familiar, and I ended up having to whip his ass, man, you know, because, you know, he would step across the line. Habitually. He's a habitual line stepper. First time, you know, I had to end up whipping his ass. We went to Studio 54. We walking up into the VIP section, and I'm looking around to see who's there, and looking at the girls and everything, and all of a sudden I heard something go, "Charlie Murphy!"
Actor, comedian Charles Quentin Murphy, born on July 12, 1959, and he left us after a battle with leukemia on April 12, 2017. He appeared in more than 20 feature films and more than 20 television shows. And in this conversation, which originally took place back in 2009, we talk about life, his love of comedy, working with Dave Chappelle, his brother Eddie, and much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, the star of stage, screen, motion pictures, and any damn thing else he wants to do. Welcome, Charlie Murphy!
What's happening, man? What's going on, baby?
No, you the man. Welcome to the 502, man.
The 502.
Yes, sir.
Louisville.
Yes, sir.
Home of the greatest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Oh, man. Everybody's familiar with something that Charlie Murphy has done. I mean, from as early back as you being talked about by your brother, roll Charlie around, roll him around.
Yeah.
Roll around. To, the stuff that you've done in the cameos in movies, the Chappelle Show especially.
Yeah.
Voiceover work for the Boondocks.
Exactly. I've been all over the place, you know what I'm saying? Writing, acting, stand-up comic, everything.
Right.
That's all a product of necessity, you know. It wasn't like I chose to be involved in everything, but I had to. It's just the way it came about, and I had to do everything.
Man,
to eat. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, you did a couple of roles this year in some movies, but you got some bills coming up. But,
right.
You ain't got no roles right now. Well, I'll write a movie, you know? Mm-hmm. You got to keep it, you know, I was able to stay, stay afloat. You know, with the incredible body of work that you've had in a relatively young career, earlier in your career, you had to deal with getting out from under the shadow of your brother Eddie. That's a misconception. Oh, really? Yeah, you know, they look at people just because Eddie is, you know, the icon that he is, assume that I was working in the shadow of Eddie Murphy. Uh-huh. But if you look at my body of work, nothing that I've done is remotely, reminds you of Eddie. Anything like, that's true. I don't, you know, it's not like, you know, those other families that you look at, you say, okay, you see similarities. We don't have really nothing similar, except the fact that we both did comedy. And if you look at the way I deliver my comedy and the way he did it, even that's different. You know, so that's like a misconception that, you know, I was never in anyone's shadow. I'm in the shadow of God. There's no man on the planet who I was ever in the shadow I looked up to. Amen. You know what I'm saying? I feel I'm 50 years old, and I've been around a minute, and you don't have to be 50 by being stupid. I'll just put it like this. Since I became a man, I've been one since. That's the best way to put it. You know, I like that. There's nobody's shadow, you know? Right. Yeah. Early in your career, you talked about a night where you went out on stage and got booed. Oh,
and
yeah,
the effect that had on you.
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny that you brought that up because I just finished doing my book, The Making of a Stand-Up Guy.
Yeah.
And in my book, I discuss how, that occurred. I went to St. Louis, I went to Cleveland. This was early in my stand-up career.
Right.
And due to me being green and being, just not ready, I had some situations. But those things, and I booed off the stage, I bombed.
Right.
Those things made me a better comedian. They didn't make me quit because, that it ain't no quit in me. So I went back to the St. Louis. I went back to Cleveland. And not just once, not just twice, 5, 6 times. And every time I went back, I got a standing ovation. Okay?
Right.
So, yes, I did go there and I had a bad experience once. But for each one of those places, they represent a bad experience. I had 10 good experiences.
Right.
So, the people in St. Louis, the people in Cleveland, they got love for Charlie Murphy. I got love for them. It was a learning process. But it's funny that you brought that up because I'm in Louisville, right?
Right.
And I've never played Louisville before. Now, this morning, I was in a restaurant. And we're in the restaurant eating, and a dude from Louisville comes over. One of my fans starts talking to me. I bought some tickets to your show, and you wasn't there. And I was like, I never played Louisville before. He said, but I bought tickets to the Mike Epps show. It says it's going to be you and Mike Epps, and you wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
And I said, oh, I remember. I was on tour with Mike Epps.
Right.
Now, then he goes, yeah, then Mike went on stage and he trashed you, man. He told everybody how you got booed off the stage in Cleveland and St. Louis and blah, blah, blah. Now, the reason why that was, it was like a slap was because, me and Mike Epps, in my opinion, over the years have been friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just seen Mike Epps 2 weeks ago at my brother's house eating. And you went to Louisville and went on stage and trashed your brother. Well, I'm going to see you again. And now you know that I know what you did.
Right.
So you know what I'm thinking when you look me in the eye. I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? And I don't do unmanly things. So whatever we do is going to be manly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, that's how I get down. This is not a threat or anything. It's just the way it is. Everybody that's out there that's a Charlie Murphy fan or who is a fan of comedy, you're welcome to come to my show, and I promise you, you'll know the truth when you leave my show. My show is the real deal. I have not just been to Kentucky or I've been all over the world. And you don't get to go all over the world because you're swell or you had a great smile or we just want to give you money. You get to go all over the world because your show is worldwide and your show is world class. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, that's what I want to put out, to get off the whole Mike Epps thing and get into something positive.
More of our Black History Month special, a conversation with Charlie Murphy, right after this. If you're an advertiser, one of the most important things about getting your message out is actually standing out from the rest of the crowd. If you're listening to this program right now, this is where you'd hear your commercial. As an exclusive sponsor of Gunshots Straight from the Hip, your commercial is professionally produced and gets a longer shelf life based on your needs. Gunshots Straight from the Hip is a unique and compelling program unlike anything else in the marketplace. Episodes are available for download on iTunes, TuneIn, and MarkGunnMedia.com. And depending on how you tailor your message, the potential for new and repeat customers is that much greater. Best of all, it's extremely cost-effective. If you'd like more information on how you can be a sponsor of this broadcast, call Mark Gunn Media Inc. at 502-407-0283. That's 502-407-0283. Or log on to markgunnmedia.com. For downloads of this and past episodes and information about all the multimedia services we offer, log on to our website at www.markgunnmedia.com. That's markgunnmedia.com. Welcome back to our special Black History Month edition of Gunshots Straight from the Hip. This week, we've gone into the Mark Gunn Media archives, 2009 to be exact, to present more of a conversation I had with the late, great Charlie Murphy. We talk more about working with his brother Eddie and Dave Chappelle.
Even though I had a weird day, I got here early, Had to go to the mall and pick some stuff up. Went to the mall, I'm walking through the mall and seen this woman pushing a stroller. That's some normal to see, a woman pushing a stroller. But as she walked past me, I glanced in the stroller. Dog was in the stroller. That me off, man. I really want to kick that stroller over. Got 2 steps past us, see another woman walking a baby on a dog leash. What's going on out here, man?
And a second ago, you were talking about positive experiences.
Positive, yeah.
And perhaps one of the most positive experiences for your career was your association with the Dave Chappelle Show.
That's right, man.
How did that come about, man?
Well, Dave Chappelle and myself at the time had the same business manager. Mm-hmm. And that's how we met. I went up there one day to talk about my taxes. I was nervous, and I got finished and I was leaving. That was good. I'm not going to be killed. And I turned around and it was Dave Chappelle sitting on the desk. And he said, Charlie, what's going on, man? And we started talking like we knew each other for years.
Right.
Because he's seen movies that I had been in.
Right.
And I'd seen movies that he had been in. And then he ended up working in The Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
Which that was a classic scene he did with Eddie. And it took off from there with him as far as I'm concerned. After that, he was on his way. And after that, about maybe 2 years later, got a phone call. Dave Chappelle is doing a show and he wants you to be in a sketch.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And then I didn't even know what the sketch was.
Uh-huh.
As soon as I said, okay. And then they sent me the script and I read it and it was Tyree.
My name is Tyree, and yeah, I went to prison.
I'm your roommate, Chad.
Well, look at here, Chad. For the entire period you in my room, I better not catch you standing up peeing. You sit down when you pee, you understand? That's right. Now get your fat ass on out of here, white boy.
Night. Keep your butthole tight.
And I read the Tyree and Lysol. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm gonna have fun doing this.
Right.
But I just thought it was gonna be. I just thought it was gonna be the one show. Mm-hmm. I went and did the one show, and it went over. It turned out being the #1 rated segment for the season, and as a result, I got to be in more. I just kept doing more and more after that.
Now, out of everything you've done in your long career,
mm-hmm.
Some of the most memorable sketches, routines, parts in movies thus far at this point.
Right,
I don't see you stopping anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
What has been the most memorable or your favorite comedic moment?
Oh, that was Harlem Nights, man. It was a comedic experience. You had Red Fox, Eddie Murphy, and Richard Pryor in the same film, man. And the late Robert Harris. That was my most favorite comedic moment because of the level of talent that I was surrounded by. Those were all kings.
You crazy.
Oh, you want to hit people with garbage cans. Now I got to cut you.
Better put that razor away. I ain't playing no more. You put that razor away, I'm gonna blow your damn pinky toe off.
Oh, now you're going to shoot me in my pinky toe.
I'm not playing with you. I will blow that little black, gnarled, crusty, dead the fuck off your foot. Now put the razor away.
You must be crazy to pull your gun on me.
You gonna be the nine-toe having his limping his bitch in Harlem. You don't stop fucking with me. Now put the razor away.
Well, go ahead. Shoot, here it is. There it is. Shoot, quick, go ahead. Take your best shot. Oh.
That had to be like a clinic.
Yeah, that was a clinic, and I was around it, for the length of the movie.
Right.
That was incredible.
Man, oh man. So what is next for Charlie Murphy, man?
God knows. I don't know. God. Charlie Murphy is. I'm trying my best to keep, to stay in the funny lane and see funny things and have funny experiences. Some of them are aggravating when they happen, but comedy comes out of it. Like for instance, me and Freeze, we was flying from Biloxi, Mississippi last week.
Uh-huh.
And because of the weather conditions, our plane ended up on the runway for like 5 hours.
Oh, snap.
Right?
Right.
I'm not exaggerating. On the runway, and like, why don't you guys go back and let us get off the plane?
Right.
And it kept coming with excuse after excuse after excuse. We're getting ready to take off, or they just told us this, and you're getting more and more angry. And then it dawns on you like, wow, I'm hungry.
Uh-huh.
Do you have anything to eat? And they give you some peanuts, right?
Right.
And then after this, all of that ordeal is over, you take off, and you're almost home, and then you start smelling food. And you say, they had food all this time?
Right.
And they bring out hot food and they said, would you like, we're going to be on the ground in 40 minutes. You had me starving for 6 hours and you're going to bring out something now and ask me, do I want to eat it?
Right.
Why don't you eat it and enjoy it? Right. So you're really agitated.
Right.
And this whole feeling went on till we get off the plane. We're leaving. We finally got away from it. And then one of the people from the ATF jumped out and said, hey, y'all can't go in that bathroom right there. And she just was the wrong person at the wrong time.
Oh, no.
You see how big Freeze is?
Right.
You see, and
it's a big dude.
Me and Freeze was getting ready to jump this a woman. That's how we was getting ready to jump a woman. Like we had to check ourselves.
Right.
We were so agitated at that point. But you see, the story's funny though, right? Because you laugh at the end.
Right.
But when it happened, it wasn't funny. We was like, so I look for the funny in everything. Even the ugly situations, if you review it, it's something funny in it. And you take it out and, bring it to the people, man.
Coming up, Charlie and I talk about beer right after this. If you're an advertiser, one of the most important things about getting your message out is actually standing out from the rest of the crowd. If you're listening to this program right now, this is where you'd hear your commercial. As an exclusive sponsor of Gunshots Straight from the Hip, your commercial is professionally produced and gets a longer shelf life based on your needs. Gunshots Straight from the Hip is a unique and compelling program unlike anything else in the marketplace. Episodes are available for download on iTunes, TuneIn, and MarkGunnMedia.com. And depending on how you tailor your message, the potential for new and repeat customers is that much greater. Best of all, it's extremely cost-effective. If you'd like more information on how you can be a sponsor of this broadcast, call Mark Gunn Media Inc. at 502-407-0283. That's 502-407-0283. Or log on to MarkGunnMedia.com. For downloads of this and past episodes and information about all the multimedia services we offer, log on to our website at www.markgunmedia.com. That's markgunmedia.com. Welcome back to a special Black History Month episode of Gunshots Straight from the Hip. This week, I went back to 2009 in the Mark Gunn Media archives to bring you a conversation I had with the late, great Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy! What's up, partner?
I'm behind the bar and I'm serving drinks and Charlie bends over. I call. I said, Charlie, come here.
Charlie, there's a new joke going around. Have you heard it? What did the five fingers say to the face? What? Slap!
I'm kicking it with my man Charlie Murphy. Now, everybody's talking about this whole situation that happened with Professor Henry Gates and Officer James Crowley and how President Obama got involved. And they did the beer summit yesterday.
Right.
So what did you think about all that?
I think that, the president shouldn't even be involved at all. It's like, that's the incident between private citizen and local police department. They should be dealing with it on a level of where it happened at.
Right.
For the president to get involved, because I've had situations with the police. Do the police profile? Yes, they do. Is it a problem? Yes, it is. 2 weeks ago, a cop pulled me over and towed my truck because my registration was one day expired.
Right.
And I could tell he was doing it on purpose. I was in my town, one block from my house.
Right.
But he was doing it because I had a new truck and he didn't like that fact, and that's what he was doing. But I didn't get to go to the White House and have beer. I mean, I'm sure Freeze could tell you some situations he was in with the police,
right?
And probably every other black man that and we didn't get to go to the White House and have beer. So that part about it was kind of weird to me. It was like, why is this guy? Oh, because he's a professor, he gets to go to the White House and have beer and talk about why was he? This happens in the hood on a regular basis to everybody. So welcome to the club.
Right.
It's reality, man. You know what I'm saying? And as far as them having beer, no, they should be addressing the whole issue on a level of it needs to stop happening to all black people, not just to the ones who are educated. It's wrong on every level. It has nothing to do with your level of education or your title. Because he's a professor, now we have a glass of beer and diplomatically solve the problem. It's like, yo, man, that goes on with everybody, bro, not just you.
Yeah, because the whole beer thing, that just leads to other questions like, were they drinking Old English 800 or Hasty Lowenbrow?
Right. Did they serve the professor old English?
Oh, man. Actually, I heard he drank...
Coke 45?
I heard he drank Red
We're going to have a Coke 45 and get...
Red Stripe?
Red Stripe.
Look, we're going to sit down.
We're going to have a Red Stripe and we're going to talk out all of our differences.
That's right, doctor.
Yeah, man.
Dr. Gates and I'm going to sit down and
spliff too, you know.
smoke a spliff and have some Red
Stripe. We're going to be happy. All
We're going to solve all our problems.
Let's sing now.
We're going to solve all our problems in America.
Over a beer.
Over a beer.
You can have Coors. You can have...
Yeah.
All of them.
That's what goes down.
Corona.
Right? It's all good.
Those Seckies.
Y'all got any Killians over there, man?
Killians.
I
love it. Bring some Killians.
Some Guinness.
Guinness
Stout.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
There you go.
Some Pale Ale. Bring it on.
Get it in.
Pilsner too. You know? Schulteis und Reisen und Bier. Bring it all.
Beer Summit 2009.
That's what's up.
Charlie Murphy in the building.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. It has truly been an honor, man. I've been a fan
man,
for a
thanks
long
for
time.
having me, man.
I've met a lot of celebrities over the last 40 years, and Charlie was by far one of the most humble and down-to-earth people you'll ever get a chance to meet. Between Harlem Nights in 1989 and his last film, Meet the Blacks, in 2016, Murphy was in a total of 28 feature films, more than 20 TV shows, including Power, The Boondocks, and of course The Chappelle Show, and he was featured on a couple of top-selling video games. We lost a truly great talent when leukemia took him from us back in 2017. Charlie Murphy, Black history that will live on forever. You've been listening to Gunshots Straight from the Hip. The views expressed are those of the host and guests and not reflective of any business entity or anyone associated with this broadcast. If you have any comments or want more information on how to be a sponsor, log on to our website at markgunmedia.com or call us at 502-407-0283. That's 502-407-0283. Thank you for listening.
Mark Gunn Media. No hype, no hoopla, just damn good work.